What you say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do well.
Of course you did. What you say?
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best podcast.
What you say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
Just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I
What
thought we
you
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to Whatcha Say. I'm Elyse Daly, and I did that right.
I mean, you did what right?
I did the countdown part right.
Yeah, but then you messed up the first line of the intro.
My name is Elyse Daly.
But you didn't say we're an OC podcast. What if the people don't know that?
We're an OC podcast. My name is Elyse Daly.
And I am Scott Daly.
And together, we're
Weird.
The Dailies.
Dailies.
I don't know why you did that.
On the daily.
No, because this doesn't come out every day. It's every week.
On the weekly. This is the podcast where each and every week my wife Elyse and I go through the hit 2000s teen drama The OC, episode by episode. Elyse is shaking her head at me, and I don't know why. Why are you shaking your head at me?
Because it's you.
What?
It's just you.
What's wrong?
Everything.
This week on the show, we are covering Season 2, Episode 15, entitled The Mallpisode. The Mallpisode.
Oh, the mall.
Let's all go
What
to
a
the
lovely
mall.
place
Malls are
the mall
dying.
is.
Malls are dying. Malls are a thing of the past, especially now with COVID.
I've been going to the mall.
Yeah, I know. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's unsafe.
Somebody's got to do the shopping.
Yeah, if only there was a place you could go without having to leave your house to shop for all the things.
I can't use my North Park gold if I'm not at North Park.
I know. That's a flaw in we did not pandemic proof our gift cards. It's a flaw in the whole thing. I understand that.
Thank you.
Hey Elyse,
What?
how you doing this week? You doing okay?
I'm fine.
You're a little tired.
It was a rough week, Scott.
You're a little you're a little grouchy. A little grouchy?
I'm sorry, what?
Well, Oscar?
Why am I a little grouchy?
I don't know. You just seem a little testy with me. This is reminding me of the opening of the OC when Seth is trying to talk to Ryan and he yells at him. This is what it feels like now.
Am I yelling at you, Scott?
You're yelling with your eyes, Elyse. You don't yell with your voice. You
I don't yell with
your
my voice.
eyes.
It's a very effective thing, isn't it?
I don't like it. I don't.
Why not?
Because it makes me scared.
Oh, does it?
You're gonna hurt me in my sleep.
Not when you sleep.
Elyse, let's talk about Rosies and Thornies.
Our Rosies and Thornies from this week.
Yeah.
The part where we look back on the week and we say what's good, the bad, the Rosies, the Thornies.
Yes, that's the part.
And we always start with the bad.
We do.
And are you going to start talking about your thorn isn't the weather. Your thorn is when we watched the show that talked about Rosies and Thornies.
What?
Remember when we were watching the show this weekend, that documentary, and they talked about Rosies and Thornies and you completely broke down?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh
New
my
thorn.
God.
Can that be our new thorn?
Oh my God.
Did you forget about that?
I did forget about that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You
that
lost
makes me
it.
so sad.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to talk about my thorn. And at first, my thorn this week was the fact that the really nice plant that I got for my birthday from my parents, I just kill things unless they're bamboo. I don't get it. Bamboo's the only thing I can keep alive. And so this beautiful flower that smelled so good is now dead. But really, my thorn happened this morning, and I'm changing it.
Oh.
We had a big storm last night. The
did.
big storm had a lot of wind, and our fence needs to be replaced. But this, is not our fence, so we're not going to pay to replace it. No. And only when the landlord wants to do that will it be replaced. Except one thing that is a flaw with the fence is that the gate doesn't latch. We've been dealing with this for every year that we've lived here.
Yep.
It'll blow open, and then Ghost likes to escape. Out the front door, no. But if it's the gate that's open and she's in the yard by herself, she likes to leave. And this morning, I'm talking about you, Ghost. This morning at about 6 o'clock, I walked out. Penny was sitting at the end of the hallway just staring at the back door, and I was trying to find Ghost, and I stick my head out and I yell for Ghost, and she doesn't come in. And then Penny darts outside and then darts over to the gate and then disappears. And I was shocked because I thought I had peeked outside this morning to see that the gate was closed, but it had blown open overnight and Ghost had escaped. And it was dark outside. Like, it's one thing if it's starting to get light and it'll be easier to see her, but we hadn't lost her before when it was pitch dark. Yeah, and I got really scared.
But she is white. She's very white. And so she stands out of the dark.
Not quite enough. Anyways, I ran in. I woke Scott up, and we were
6:30 in the morning.
It's 6.
It's 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning.
I had been asleep for a grand total of 3 hours at that point, and I got woken up to Ghost is gone.
Yeah.
And I did this thing. I don't know if you noticed, but I did this thing where I just wandered around the house because.
Asleep did not notice.
Asleep Scott just didn't believe you and was just like, I bet she's in the guest room. So I just wandered.
No.
I wandered through every room of the house before I left in my car to find her. And then I found her right away.
Yeah, I went the opposite direction. I went the direction she usually goes, and she went the other one. Anyways, I thought we lost the dog this morning. It was what a way to wake up.
It's okay, because I've been up since 6 o'clock. Woo!
I've been up since 5:30.
Who needs sleep anymore?
Me. I do. Scott, what's your thorn?
Well, I want.
Is it going to be the thorn that I showed?
No, because I want. Well, first of all, I want to circle back to that because you just like say the Rosies and Thornies on the documentary, and you don't like explain what that means.
I didn't remember the name of it.
So there was a documentary series that we watched over the past week on Netflix called "I'll Be Gone in the Dark." It is the documentary series based on. The
Michelle
McNamara.
McNamara.
Okay.
Continue.
She wrote a book about her. She had a true crime blog and was really obsessed with the Golden State Killer, who was a man who raped and murdered like so many people. Just absurd. It's disgusting. And she, of course, tragically lost her life.
She OD'd.
Like in the middle of her investigation. And then so it's a documentary about not only the investigation into the Golden State Killer, but about her and her investigation. And it's like, it's a very, very in-depth look at her life, and Patton Oswalt like invited them in and like told the whole story. And part of that story was that her and her daughter used to do Rosies and Thornies every night. They'd say the good and the bad thing of the day. And she said like the day after she was told her mom died, it was something to the effect of like, my rose is that the family's all around here, and my thorn is that my mom is gone. And that's just
Scott broke down into tears.
Wrecked me.
I just looked at him.
That
coal in my heart.
Yeah, you're. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I would never say.
You're agreeing.
No, I'm not. I'm just not going to argue with you about it. Just because you don't show your emotions via tears does not mean you don't feel anything.
I'm good at compartmentalizing.
Plus, I've watched you cry many times. So
From
don't
stress.
pretend like you haven't cried.
Oh no, you've seen me cry.
My real thorn was, it's really hot outside.
Yeah, it's hot.
Last week was so fucking hot, Elyse.
It was a little colder today though, because the rain.
The storm. Did you hear that they think in Death Valley, California, the hottest temperature ever recorded on the planet happened yesterday?
No, how hot do they think it was?
The old record was 129.2, and they think it got to 130 yesterday.
Wow.
Holy shit. It's almost as if there's the climate and it's changing.
Everything's changing, Scott.
It's really hot out, and it's miserable, and it's costing us a fortune to keep this house cool. Thank God for nights and weekends. That's all I gotta say. Thank God, because this 68 degrees at night thing is killing me. It's killing me.
But we don't have to pay at night.
I know, but I'm just thinking it's killing me.
Okay. So my rose this week was this past weekend. My older sister came over and had dinner with us because she didn't get to participate in my family dinner with my parents.
She was out of town.
She's out of town.
Mm-hmm.
And so
she
wanted
food.
to come and hang out with us. So she brought us some food and it was delicious. And I enjoyed getting to hang out with her and watching a movie. I fell asleep during the second movie, but that's just classic Elyse, so it's fine. But my dinner was delicious. Good times, good food, good company. It was just a good weekend.
It was a very good weekend. I enjoyed seeing her. The delicious food. I had an old-fashioned. It was delightful. Mm-hmm. Haven't had one of those in a while because I don't go to bars anymore because there's a pandemic happening.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Want to know what my thorn is?
I want to know what your rose is.
My roses?
Yeah.
My rose is a movie called Host.
Okay.
So I got Shudder this past week, or I borrowed my friend's Shudder account. I did not get the service Shudder. Don't tell Shudder.
You cheated?
One of the films that's on Shudder right now is actually a movie made during the quarantine. It is
that's this one that scared you.
It is a horror movie about a Zoom call seance, where of course things get fucking whack. It was recorded all, with each people in their separate home. I don't even know how they did some of the special effects. It's actually really impressive, some of the stuff they did. But it's basically takes place entirely on Zoom. It's one of those, remember when we saw that movie Searching, where the whole thing is on the computer screen? It's that, but a Zoom meeting. And
can I tell everyone something?
What?
You know that Scott gets scared in movies, and you can walk in on him watching a movie and tell how frightened he is by what his body language is. And this movie really scared him because when I walked into the room, he was behind the couch, both hands clasped, and he had been pacing. And that means that he was scared.
You just got to distract yourself from the TV.
And then what he does is he goes on the couch and he continues to have his hands clasped and he just like jerks around because he doesn't want to see it, but he does want to see it. And I just think if it's that scary, don't watch it.
I like being scared.
I mean, I watched that documentary and that just still terrifies me about the real life person. I get spooked at nighttime after watching that.
I like being scared. And
I
it was
don't-
very
I
effective.
don't like
It was
being
very
scared.
effective spookies. There were some very effective spookies in this. And it scared me. And it's a better movie than it has any right to be.
What are some other real effective spookies? What are the best spookies?
Are you making fun of me? Are you
I
making
am.
fun of me? You remember The Haunting of Hill House, that TV show from
Yeah.
last
You
year?
got some good spookies there.
That was some spookies.
That was me waking up because you were holding me spookies.
That was some 3 a.m. Holy shit! Why did I watch this at night when you
by
were
yourself.
asleep?
Yep.
Spookies. I get scared very easily in movies. I do. Like the scary movies work on me. Like the jump scare stuff doesn't work on me, but like the slow build of tension, like the parts where like the camera pans and you see something in the background and it's just like casually in the background, or like those movies where like there was one where like whenever you use a video camera and you can only see something through the video camera or through the camera flash or something like that. That shit gets to me. That shit gets to me big time. Some good old fashioned spookies. My point is that this movie was way better than it had any right to be, considering it was made in the middle of a pandemic over Zoom. And I just want to say once and for all that Skype, you really dropped the ball on this shit. Skype, how did you let this happen? Zoom has... It's taken over.
It has.
You fucked up, Microsoft. Why'd you let this happen? I mean, Skype sucks, so I get it. But how could they not? Like Zoom was like, boom, they were ready for it, and they won. They won. It's over, Skype. You're done. Goodbye forever. I'm done with you.
I know. I mean, who even uses Skype anymore except for you to do your video calls for podcasting?
Yeah, but we're gonna get off that shit.
I mean, there we go. The death of Skype.
We're not going to Zoom. We're going to do either Discord or we got this new thing called Zencaster you heard about this shit? Have you heard
No.
about this shit?
Is this the thing that what's his name who guest on your podcast uses?
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
That's
It's
the other
fucking awesome.
Scott, right?
Yeah, Other Scott. That's
Other
his name.
Scott.
His name is Other Scott. I was the first Scott, even though he's older than me.
No.
That's my.
He changed his name because he knew who you were.
That's
your Rose?
That's the Rose.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
So that means it's time, Scott, to move on.
Okay.
Away from our week and on to one show that we have been watching every week for the past few weeks.
For
long weeks.
A year. For a year.
It's been about a year. So we're going to talk this week about the Mallpisode. It's the 15th episode of season 2 of the OC, written by Stephanie Savage and directed by Ian Toynton.
Oh.
It aired on March the 10th, 2005.
The toy boy is back.
Give me that sweet, sweet summary.
Seth and Summer are back together, so everyone is happy. Wait, no, nobody but them is happy. To distract Ryan from his Lindsay-induced misery, the Fab Four all decide to go to the mall, and they get locked in, because this is a sitcom from the 90s now. Also, Kirsten lost her wedding ring, and Julie Cooper did a porno.
Mm-hmm. She did.
Wow, what an episode. What did you think
Porn
about this
Identity.
episode?
Scott, these 2 episodes in season 2 are some of my favorite episodes. And I really like this one because just like you were complaining last week, our original 4, the 4 core, had not been together in a long time. And it's a lot of their chemistry is what the show relied on. And this brought them all 4 back together. And really, Seth and Summer, you get their whole dynamic again, and it's for almost the entire show as opposed to just the little snippets when they were part of the triangle. And so it's good to see the classic OC back again.
Yeah, but no one will survive their 4 getting back together again, because everyone else that was part of this dynamic is fucking getting kicked to the curb.
It's true.
I liked this episode. There are parts of the Seth and Summer thing that like immediately annoyed me, but we'll talk about those in a bit.
Fine.
I was kind of shocked. I guess I just kind of expected the show to pick up almost right where we left the last one, because we left last episode at the kiss, and then this episode, I expected it to be like, okay, we kissed, now we gotta like figure out what's going on. But when we join this episode, they're already back together.
Yeah.
They've already had that talk and they're going forward with it. It's been maybe a week. It doesn't say, but it's been probably a week since the famed spider kiss.
There's some time that had passed.
And so everything was taken care of off screen. So I mean, they're still dealing with
Enough
stuff.
time for Zach to have gone to Italy and a postcard to have come from Italy to California.
So roughly.
So that's a long time.
70 weeks, judging by the modern United States Post Office.
Just about.
Thanks, Mr. President.
We're not going to get into that right now.
Thanks.
Let's move on, Scott.
Fine.
So those are my overall thoughts. Your overall thoughts. Let's get into our Rosies and Thornies of the episode.
Do you mean by that, of course, the things we liked the most and disliked the most about this week's episode of the OC?
I do, Scott.
Okay. Well, Elyse, why don't you tell me what your thorn is?
Scott, we thought that love triangle with Sandy and Kirsten was done.
Rebecca is
But
gone.
it wasn't. Rebecca's gone, and there's a new point. There's a new point on that triangle, and it frustrates me because now there's a Carter in the situation. And
Carter.
No, not Aaron Carter, but
Who is
Carter.
Explain Carter to me.
So we have spoken before about this magazine that Julie Cooper wants her face on
Newport
every
Living.
month, Newport Living. And the company has decided that they need an actual magazine editor in order to help with the magazine.
Which is a bold plan. I
And
don't
so they bring in this guy.
Why can't I edit my own magazine?
Because you've never edited a magazine.
Yeah, but why this guy? He launched a magazine called The Ugly American.
I've heard of that. It's an independent travel magazine. It's won a bunch of awards.
Fine, but our magazine is about beautiful Americans.
And so Julie was really frustrated, first of all, about even the name of that magazine, and then also about the fact that they're bringing someone else on to edit the magazine. And this guy is Carter. And he's not shabby looking for his age. He's attractive.
I too cannot wait until one day someone describes me as not shabby looking for his age. That is the dream that all men seek.
Well, but here's the problem, Scott. You mentioned it in the summary that Kirsten had taken her ring off.
Yeah, she did. No, she lost it.
She lost it. She took it off and she hid it.
It must have fallen down the sink.
And because she wasn't wearing her ring, Carter misinterprets the fact that she's married and thinks that she's not, and he's divorced. And so he was already trying to make the moves on Kirsten.
He was making the moves. And I hate when the show is this transparent, because it's like immediate. Like, you're just immediately aware that this guy is going to be a source of conflict.
You know, I don't think we've said 2 words about the magazine since Julie Cooper Nickel left the building. I don't think we've accomplished our goals for the day.
Well, I thought your goal was getting paid for doing nothing.
Let's just say I'm finding Newport living a lot more interesting than I thought it would be.
It's just frustrating because I just love Sadie and Kirsten so much. They're like the coach and Coach Taylor and Tammy Taylor from Friday Night Lights. I think I've made it before. It's like, it's the anchor of the show.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe...
Is it not Tammy?
What's
her name? It's Coach Taylor.
I don't remember. I've seen only the first season of Friday Night Lights, but I believe there is some serious conflict between those two. Doesn't he... Correct me if I'm wrong here, but at the end of season 1 of Friday Night Lights, he takes a job somewhere else, and that makes her very mad. So
I think so.
Yeah. So even the perfect couple hits a few bumps in the road.
Well, yeah. I mean, even we hit a few bumps in the road, Scott.
What?
I know.
What
it's a
bumps?
shock to everybody.
What were the bumps?
There's just, that pimple on your head, and it's just a bump.
Wow.
There's your nose. It's another big bump.
This became very personal very quickly.
You don't have a pimple. You have no pimples. Stop. Anyways.
You know what I also don't have? Bags under my eyes.
Guys. Can we just talk about the fact that for a month and a half, Scott had been putting Dream Cream from Lush underneath his eyes because he thought it was eye cream, but it's foot and hand cream. And he just thought it was eye cream because it was Dream Cream.
Okay.
And
at some point...
He's been putting foot cream under his eyes for a month and a half.
At some point, you gave me cream to deal with the bags under my eyes.
I did, and you used it all, and I threw it away.
And I also had a thing of cream next to the side of my bed, and I don't know how it got there, so I made the assumption. I picked up the cream, and it said Dream Cream, and I'm like, oh, so it makes my face look like I've gotten a good night's sleep. Ergo, the bags won't be under the eyes anymore. I feel like that's a very logical assumption.
Just by the name, yes, but if you don't know what it is, shouldn't you read the fine print underneath the name, and it says foot and hand cream?
No, Dream Cream. Why would foot cream be called Dream Cream?
Because the scent is supposed to make you sleepy from aromatherapy.
Who is smelling feet?
It's on your hands. It's just lotion.
Look, all I know is it wasn't working very well.
Yeah. Wasn't working with those dark circles because those aren't on your feet or your hands. Anyways.
I think everyone listening is on my side in this, that Dream Cream is eye cream.
It's aromatherapy lotion.
Whatever.
Scott, what's your thorn?
My thorn is
Dream Cream.
No. My thorn is, surprisingly, this week's Seth and Summer plotline. I did not care for it. I mean, there are parts, like, don't get me wrong. I love Seth. I love Summer. I love Seth and Summer, and I loved a lot of their interactions in this episode. But the Zach postcard thing, I just did not like. So Zach has sent Summer a postcard, and Summer is weirdly keeping the postcard from Seth, like not letting him read it, even after he notices the postcard and said, hey, that's the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Isn't that in Italy? And still not letting him read it. And then at the end, it's a completely harmless postcard where he's
talking about how hot the weather is, just like you.
And he just says, say hi to Seth for me. And he's being nice because he's Zach and he's the perfect man. And of course, Seth gets super jealous and acts like an idiot and rifles through her purse to read it behind her back and gets caught. And like, this is the same fight these two have had like 5 times already.
Cohen, he's my friend. He's your friend too.
Yeah, and friends let friends read postcards, so why can't I just see it?
Why can't you just trust me that it doesn't say anything?
Because I know it says something hot. I saw what he wrote. Do you remember how hot it was and the rest was covered up by a stamp?
And it kind of freaked me out because, like, the thing about relationships in shows like this is you spend so much time on the buildup. You spend so much time on the will they, won't they, and the back and forth and the breaking up and getting back together that, like, I wonder if the writers know how to write these two in a relationship. And, like,
they touched on that.
Here's what I'm worried about. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that is literally a scene from this week's episode is them talking about...
they're only good at the chase.
Yeah.
Pursuing.
Right, exactly.
We're monsters.
I like monsters, but not us.
Do we not work as a couple anymore? Are we all set up and no payoff?
All preparation, no age.
And here's why I'm really worried about that. When they broke up the first time, I knew the SpiderMan Kiss existed. So I knew at some point in the show they got back together. We've passed that point now. So I don't have that assurance anymore. So, like, when shit starts happening like this, where it's like same old arguments, same old fights again, I'm like, oh God, if they break up again,
they may not get back
they
together.
might not get back together. And I don't think my poor, fragile little 34-year-old heart can take these two teens.
It's almost 35.
Shut up. Can take these two teens not working it out.
Well, you're just going to have to keep watching to see.
I was just kidding about the shut up. I love you.
I know.
I wasn't saying shut up because I didn't want you to talk. I was saying shut up because I didn't want to be told that I'm in my mid-30s now.
You're not yet. You have a few more months.
I mean, technically I am. 34 is technically mid-30s. Technically.
It's kind of.
31, 32, 33, earlies. 34, 35, 36, mid, 37, 38, 39. Late. That's what it is. Mid-30s.
Yeah, you're getting
I'm
there,
in my
aren't you?
mid-30s, almost.
You're almost 5 years away from being 40.
Oh my God.
You're going to be 40 in 5 years, Scott.
Oh my God.
40.
Stop it.
Over the hill.
So that basically, I just didn't love this plot line. They worked it out at the end, like that were, you know, they realized they were all set up, no payoff. Seth read the postcard and calmed himself down. But, like, the thing that's frustrating about this resolution is it's not like Seth learned, oh, I can trust her. It's just Seth was shown the thing he was worried about and realized it was nothing. Versus actually, like, that's not trust, right? Like, he didn't actually extend trust. She showed him the postcard. He got what he wanted and then calmed down about it, you know?
Well, that's Seth. He always gets what he wants in the show.
Just,
you want to know why?
Why?
Because he's based on the show creator and he gets what he wants.
This is what happens in Buffy with Xander and Joss Whedon. This is what happens. This is what happens in Gilmore Girls with the Gilmore Girls.
You don't know what happens in Gilmore Girls.
I'm just assuming, okay?
Guys, we're already talking about what we're going to watch once the OC's over, and we're having a debate. Gilmore Girls, Dawson's Creek, or Felicity?
I'm going to blackball Felicity. You just rewatched Felicity, and I saw enough episodes with you that I just don't want to watch that. Like a year and a half ago. Yes, you absolutely did.
Did I?
Yes.
Well, fine. Dawson's Creek or Gilmore Girls?
We still have 2.5 seasons of this show.
We're not going to get through all of season 4. I will tell you that.
Why do you say that? Yes, we are.
We're going to watch it real quick because it's no good, Scott.
Okay.
No good.
Hey, speaking of good, though, what is your rose?
Okay.
Okay.
So last week, we had a fun pairing of two women hanging out together that I enjoyed. And this week, Scott, it was some Sandy and Caleb bonding time.
I can't believe this is your rose.
And I'm sorry, but I was living for it. Because Sandy and Caleb hate each other in the show. And Caleb was going over just to kind of sulk and vent. And Sandy wasn't really paying attention and was working on his plumbing skills, trying to get the ring for Kirsten. And then after all that failed, and they're still hanging out, and Caleb's just still hanging around the house. They're sharing a drink and talking about Kirsten. And then Sandy shares about how he's afraid he hurt Kirsten. And then you see Caleb get all kind of defensive because he's upset you can't hurt my Kirsten. And I just thought, for as much that as these two characters have gone through and really been at opposite ends, it was fun to see them have at least some of an episode to where they were tolerating and kind of playing around with each other.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to the earlier days of the show where the main conflict between Kirsten and Sandy revolved around the fact that Sandy couldn't get along with her father. And now they're hanging out together. They go to the amusement park together to go win plastic rings.
They do.
For Kirsten.
I really wanted to win this for Kirsten. Prove to her.
Prove to her what?
Well, she's the love of my life, that I cherish her above all others.
You don't need a crappy piece of plastic to do that. Just tell her.
Yeah.
But you really want that ring, don't you?
More than anything.
I'll get more quarters.
They do.
And he's like, yeah, he's being like super understanding and super nice to Sandy.
I mean,
like scarily so, right?
Yeah.
It's scary.
I enjoyed it though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just thought it was fun.
It was fun. It was fun.
What's your rose?
Oh my God. So meanwhile, while Caleb is off hanging out with Sandy, what do you think Julie Cooper's doing?
Porn?
No, not. I mean, yes.
Washing
Guys,
herself?
people, listeners. Julie Cooper is in a porno.
She has a past, ladies and gentlemen.
So, okay. Some dude shows up at the office in this week's episode.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm looking for Julie Cooper.
He looks like a sleaze.
Yeah, he's a total sleazeball. He's full chino looking. Not chino. He's
Was it Riverside?
Riverside. And he's looking for Julie Cooper. And he meets with her at the bar. And he slides a paper baggie across the table. And Julie Cooper is like freaking out about it. And
it contains...
She's like, I have 2 daughters. And you're like, what is this? What is this?
It's a VHS tape.
Julie Cooper goes home and cut to VHS tape. I'm going to play the sound here.
Hey, I got a pizza for, you. Didn't we have sex?
No, I'm a virgin. At least I think I am. Why don't you stay for a slice? Are you hungry?
Starving. You really don't remember me?
No. I have amnesia. I don't remember anything.
Okay, now I have to explain what's happening here. I'm jumping ahead. I'm going to the style section a little bit. Julie Cooper is wearing the most 80s fucking outfit I've ever seen. It's like an off the shoulder top with a headband, and she's got a black and pink skirt on underneath it. She looks so fucking 80s.
Probably leg warmers if we could have seen.
Probably. And it's the pizza delivery boy porn thing. It's the most stereotypical porn thing in the world.
But she can't remember anything because she has amnesia.
She's
because that's what happened in the Bourne Identity.
It's the porn identity. Hey, hold on. About that.
Is that a real movie that you're going to look up?
No.
What? 2002.
So here, Bourne Identity is a series based off of a novel. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yes, a Robert Ludlum novel. So I guess
this was based on the book and not the movie.
In theory, this book existed in the 80s when Julie Cooper was young enough to be doing porn.
1980, February 4th, 1980.
Okay.
Is this better for you now?
So, well, it makes me feel good because that means the Bourne Identity existed. But I have a very hard time believing that a porno would be made. Like, the reason why they picked this name is because the Bourne Identity movie was a huge hit and it came out 3 years ago. But so they made... it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous, and I love it.
It's okay. Just accept it.
I love it to death.
Just
love
accept
it to death.
It's
it is
Julie.
So good. The guy wants $500,000 from Julie Cooper, or he's going to sell the porn tape to whatever.
To get more money than $500,000.
Yeah, I always love in these things where they're like, first she says I'll give you $50,000, and he's like, psh, I could get more than $500,000 just by selling this. So do that. Do it. Just if you can, do it.
It's fine. They're not smart.
It's so good.
That's why they got into the pickle.
It's such like I'm imagining the day of the shoot when they had to shoot this porno, and I think everyone was having a really great time. And then the most hilarious part about it is that Alex walks in the door while she's watching the porn, sees she's watching porn, doesn't see that it's porn with her in it, but then says something to the effect of like, "Oh yeah, typical Saturday night, stay home alone and look at porn." That's my favorite
Julie
part of the
Cooper.
episode. That's my favorite part of
I'm glad you
the
enjoyed
episode.
it.
Loved it.
It was
loved
a good
it,
one.
Loved it. What a show. What an episode. Oh my gosh.
You want to know what I would like to hear about now, Scott, that
What would
you
you
loved?
like to hear about?
The style. So come on, Scott. Tell me about the style in this episode of the OC.
Whoa, remix.
Tell me about the style in the OC. Yeah.
It's really not even Vogue anymore. You've gone every week it changes a little tiny bit.
What's the matter with that?
And nothing at all. At least you want to hear about some style.
I already told you I did.
Number 1 on this week is Julie Cooper.
Juju.
Julie Cooper is rocking this jacket, and it's like an alligator print jacket.
Okay.
I
can't see the print.
It's scaly. It's
okay.
like it's like a combination
it's
between
not
like
snake skin.
It
alligator skin.
I can't tell. Like, I don't know fashion, right? It's some sort of
animal
reptile skin jacket, and it's
maybe
like
dinosaur.
It's like a seafoam green. Dinosaurs. No. Wrong. They had feathers.
I heard.
They had feathers.
I heard.
What? What did you hear?
That there were alligators.
Uh-huh.
In that time, big enough to hunt the T-Rex.
Yeah, babe.
Is that true?
Alligators and sharks are some of like the oldest animals ever.
There were alligators that big?
I mean, there were species of alligator. It's not like you don't just take an alligator and like zoom in on it to make it bigger, like in Photoshop. It's like it was a type of alligator.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I meant.
One of the descendants of the alligator. Yeah.
That's crazy, Scott.
Haven't you ever seen Lake Placid?
No.
Why not? It's about
you
a
never
giant.
showed it to me.
About a giant fucking alligator.
You never showed it to me.
Haven't you ever seen what was the giant shark movie that came out not long ago?
We saw that one.
Uh-huh. It's pretty bad. I can't remember.
What was the name of the shark? It was a type of shark.
Yeah. Megalodon.
Yes.
The Meg.
I could only picture the student in my head who knew all the facts that there ever was to know about that shark.
Oh, one of your kids?
Yeah, one of my students. Yeah. He's the cutest.
The point is, this jacket, I like it. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, Julie Cooper.
Yeah.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
Yeah, not bad.
Next up.
Doing bad.
Got another jacket. This is Marissa Cooper doing whatever the fuck she does. Mm-hmm. Elyse, describe this jacket to me.
Okay. It's a blazer, but it looks like it's a blazer made out of a living room curtain and unfinished edges. And then it also looks like the curtain had a hole in it. And so they still used that fabric. They just, where the hole was, decided to put a piece of fabric that in no way, shape, or form matches the curtain.
Yep. Just
on one side of the blazer.
Yeah, so you know how, like, first of all, it's it's not as if this is just the lining of the jacket, right?
No.
It's not. Like, because both of the lapels will fold back and you'd see a little bit of the lining on each side.
Yeah.
But it's only on the one side. Why? Like, they keep doing this to Marissa.
I don't know.
She'll just randomly dress in this shit, and you're just like, what? And they don't do this with Summer, who's as into fashion stuff as Marissa is. They dress Summer like much more like typical trendy stuff from the period, whereas Marissa's just like wearing whatever the fuck. Yeah. And I guess that's supposed to demonstrate her wild side, you know, whatever. I don't know. I don't know, Elyse. It just looks bad. Yeah. I just like, it looks bad. And then the other fashion thing I had for this week is, of course, what we already talked about, which is Julie Cooper rocking the 80s look. I saw a tweet about this today. You know how the Amish like took a look at like 18 something and went like, this is it. This is where God wants us to stop. Mm-hmm. This is no more. Yeah. And the tweet said, what if that had happened with like 1989? And there's a new sect of the Amish that said 1989. That's it. No more. Anything past 1989, we're done. We're gonna it's gonna do the 80s, but forever.
I think we should do that with 2019. We're done. Anything later, we're done.
I think that would be really fun. I think a 1989 Amish would be pretty fucking popular. I might consider it. I might consider it.
Okay. Did you see that Airbnb that's the last Blockbuster up north?
No.
It's the last actual Blockbuster, and they turned it into...
the one in... Because there was one in Alaska for a long time, because Alaskan internet sucks.
Not Alaska anymore. It's somewhere in the continental 50.
Well, it's not the last Blockbuster anymore if it's not a Blockbuster anymore, if it's an Airbnb now.
But it's in the actual storefront of Blockbuster, and it has like the still original signage and everything, and it has the movies, and they turned it into an Airbnb.
You know, people like to remember Blockbuster like fondly in nostalgia, but everyone forgets that Blockbuster like ruthlessly murdered every single independently owned video store everywhere ever. They killed them all. Like any mom and pop, any family owned video store that existed, they swooped in and they priced them out and they destroyed them and they ate them.
Like Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so this big, massive conglomerate killed an entire industry, and then, oops, we fucked up, out of business now. And now 20 years later, everyone's like, oh, I sure do miss the Blockbuster. No, fuck Blockbuster. Blockbuster sucks.
I enjoyed Blockbuster.
I'm glad it's gone. I'm glad you're gone, Blockbuster.
I had many a great summers with the 5 DVD rentals at a time.
Yeah, well, you maybe would have had better summers at Joe and Kim's...
The Video Village that was also there.
At Joe and Kim's Video
Village didn't
Vortex.
have the same deal, nor were they as close.
Yeah, well, thanks, Blockbuster.
Had they been closer, it could have been a different story. But we'd often go to the Video Village if the Blockbuster didn't have the movies, and usually Video Village would. Their selection was always much larger.
Do you remember when you could rent a video game console?
No, we never did that.
We rented a Nintendo 64 because we couldn't find one to buy. I remember Christmas of the Nintendo 64. You know what Scott got for Christmas on the Christmas of the Nintendo 64?
A piece of paper that said we owe you a Nintendo 64.
Scott got the game Super Mario 64. And that's it, because my parents couldn't find one. It was impossible to find an N64. You know why? Because Nintendo always does this. Nintendo runs their company as if they're like still creating collectible toys like they did in the 1800s. And so they always...
Are they Amish?
Yes. Nintendo is Amish. That's what it is.
When did the show turn into the nostalgia show?
Fucking Nintendo.
I just am curious.
The point is I rented an entire whole ass N64 from Blockbuster.
Okay.
And it was cool. And then I rented Star Fox from Blockbuster, and it came with the Rumble Pack.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No idea what that was.
You know what a rumble pack was?
No.
It's literally a thing that you could plug into the controller that made it shake. Ooh. And we thought that was the coolest shit in the world.
And now they just do that all the time.
Yeah, now they all do it, and it's annoying as hell. I turn it off most times.
Scott, are we ready to move on?
That was the style section. Bring back the 80s.
It was a good time. Now we're going to talk about relationships, and I'm going to start us off, as we always do, with Sandy and Kirsten Cohen. Last week, they were at a 5 out of 10. So this week, Kirsten isn't wearing her wedding ring and claims to have misplaced it. Sandy spends his whole day trying to find it and eventually comes up with a replacement similar to the first plastic ring he ever gave her. Kirsten spends the day without a wedding ring on and sends mixed signals to the new magazine editor for Newport Living. This episode, Sandy and Kirsten are just out of their usual sync. We're going to knock them down to a 4 out of 10.
Now I have a question for you on this one.
Yeah.
There's this whole thing in this episode that is like, oh no, you took off your wedding ring. It's a bad sign. But you take off your wedding ring all the time.
When I'm in the house and I'm just you and me.
I'm not getting on your case about it. I'm legitimately just like, yeah, people take off rings all the time. It doesn't mean shit. Like, I have stopped taking off my wedding ring. I used to take it off every single night, but then I just kind of stopped doing that for a while. And
so she probably was like you and didn't take it off very much, to where if I noticed you didn't have your ring on, I'd be like, hey, Scott, what happened to your ring?
Right. True. But I mean, it's weird because the whole episode I was like, this isn't that big of a deal. And then like whatever the fuck his name is, Carter, is like, you know how when I realized my wife didn't love me anymore? When I found her ring next to the sink. I was like, I don't know, man. Maybe she was just scrubbing a pan and didn't want to ruin her expensive diamond.
Yeah, I mean, they tell you not to wash your hands with soap and water while you wear them. Do I do that? Yes. But not if it's like really gross.
But then at the end of the episode, it turns out that she didn't misplace. She took it off and and hid it in a book in her nightside table.
Yeah.
So like, their relationship is...
She's making some choices.
She puts it back on at the end of the episode, and I think like part of them is they want you to think of that as like, okay, she's like, but nuh-uh, there's trouble there.
There's that wedge.
And Sandy does not realize it.
No.
It's trouble. I think 4 is appropriate.
Thank you. Tell me about the next couple.
So the next couple is Julie Cooper and Caleb Nickel, who are two people that, believe it or not, are still married. Caleb is distraught over Lindsay leaving, and Julie is distraught that her porn career has come back to haunt her. When Julie is blackmailed for the video, she admits to not being able to get enough money to pay Lance without Caleb knowing. Julie still has secrets and doesn't trust her husband enough to share them. Yeah, have these two been in a scene together for the past 3 weeks? No. I don't think they have. We're going to give them a sympathy 1 out of 10 because they are still technically legally married for now.
Yeah. So Alex and Marissa last week were at a 5 out of 10, and this week Marissa turns their laundry pink, further proving that she doesn't know how to do anything that, quote unquote, normal teenagers do when growing up. Marissa's idea of fun isn't possible for Alex because Alex has to work to pay bills. Marissa doesn't seem to be pulling her weight. When the Fantastic Four are locked in the mall, Marissa lies to Alex about where and who she is with. She's lying now, Scott.
She's a liar.
We're knocking him down to a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, and Alex has a really great conversation with Julie where Julie says, you're just this week's yard guy. Ooh.
But
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I actually love that whole scene. I told you this was going to happen. I told you this was going to happen to poor Alex.
I know,
and
Scott.
That's what's happening now.
I know.
Hey, have you ever turned clothes pink? Or is this just a thing that happens on TV?
I don't think I have.
I don't think I have either. And I've been fumbling my way through doing my own laundry for many years now.
You know the key? Wash everything on cold.
Yeah, but some people say, and I don't know whether this is true or not, that it doesn't get them as clean when it's cold at that warm water. Do you wash yourself in cold water or warm water?
If you're using soap, it shouldn't matter.
I don't know.
I wash it for longer if it's dirty.
At least I put foot cream on my face. I don't know what's going on. Okay? I'm just struggling to get through the day.
That's true. Tell me about Summer and Seth.
Summer and Seth, they are back together and seem all right at the beginning, but a postcard to Summer from Zach starts to make Seth go a little off his rocker, as Elyse says. Summer shares with Seth what was written about the weather and Zach asking Summer to tell Seth hello. It's an interesting sentence you wrote there. It's
Yeah,
difficult to read.
I didn't really read it.
Seth realizes he overreacted, and they are back to their relationship status quo, and their relationship status quo is worth about a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. So that's them. So that's all the relationships, right, Elyse? We can move on to the next bit?
No, we have one more.
One
Scott.
more?
We're going to do Ryan by himself.
Yeah.
So Ryan's sad that Lindsay left, but really not that sad that she left. He's just sad that another person has left him.
Yeah.
So it's not really about Lindsay at all, just about Ryan being left alone. So burn Lindsay. This episode is giving Ryan some time to heal and be okay in his own, or at least on his own with his friends. We're going to give him a 1 because it's the loneliest number.
Aw, poor Ryan. Yeah, I mean, I did, like, this episode starts off and he's, like, talking with Seth and Seth's trying to cheer him up and he, like, snaps at Seth. He yells at Seth in a way that Ryan has never yelled at Seth this way before. He just is like, shut up! He's really mean to him. And I kind of turned to you in the middle of this and went like, I don't believe that Ryan would be this upset over Lindsay. And then the show, as if hearing my complaint and responding to me, outlines this as less Lindsay specifically and more all the people I care about in my life end up leaving me. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And Ryan, this episode kind of tricks you because you think Ryan's running away because he changes into his his chino clothes, which are his wife beater and his gray sweatshirt. And that's his I'm running away back to chino outfit.
It's his travel attire.
He's not. That's what's weird about it to me. Like,
it's comfy.
They're definitely trying to make you think he's running away again. He's going back to chino because he can't hack it. Something else that happens. And when I thought they were going to do that, I was about to roll my eyes so fucking hard. But no, he's just going to take a bus to Chicago, which is a long bus ride. But I just don't like. He could have just worn his normal clothes. I don't get it. I don't get why he had to change into the wife beat. I don't get
Gotta
it.
wear something comfy on the bus for a day.
I guess.
Long trip.
It's just so they could fake us out. That's the only reason.
So Scott, next week we're gonna watch episode 16, The Blaze of Glory.
Who's going out in a blaze of glory?
I don't
Who could
know.
it
We'll
be?
just have to see.
You know what I think this is? I think this is going to be the definite end of the Alex-Marissa relationship. It's going to be over. And I think Ryan and Marissa are going to get back together. They're really hitting that hard. What other blazes of glory could there be?
Maybe there's some ice skating. Blades of Glory.
That's Blaze.
No, Blades.
I don't know if that movie was out yet. I don't think it was.
I don't either.
We're dealing with a lot of timely movie references in this week's episode. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
We'll just see.
I think maybe Seth and Summer are gonna get like a week off from anything bad happening to them. That's
that would be
exciting.
lovely
That's
for
exciting.
them, won't it?
Yes, it will.
Okay. So, Scott, that's all we have time for this week. And if you're listening and you like this podcast, you can check out all the other shows that we do over at doofmedia.com. You have anything fun coming up?
Nope.
Scott? Okay.
Nope.
Well, he's been watching Cora.
Yeah,
because that's going to be a couple weeks from now. Yeah, you got to get that whole season in. So if you like that show, I know Scott, Matt, and then both of the Australians, or just one?
Both of them.
Both of them are going to be on there. So that'll be fun to listen to in a couple weeks. Also, you can consider donating to our Patreon over at patreon.com/doofmedia. Maybe we'll put the poll for Dawsons Creek or Gilmore Girls on Patreon. And then they can vote for it.
Which one's longer? Because we're committing to a long time.
I think Gilmore Girls is longer.
It's a lot of episode.
Because it has, I think, 7 episodes plus, or 7 seasons plus the Netflix 4 episodes.
Gosh. That's a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
But maybe,
Dawson's Creek, I think, is maybe 5.
Okay. That's a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, we got a long time to think of this.
Okay.
Hey, one more thing.
Yeah.
Over at our website, doofmedia.com, you can check back there all this week and next week. And I believe the week after, I'm going to be posting news and reviews from a film festival called Fantasia. This is the thing I talked about on my Rose last week where I got into this film festival. It begins in 3 days. And so I'm going to be posting a bunch of different stuff from the film festival throughout the week. So you head on over to doofmedia.com. You will see our latest articles there. I also put right up on the home screen at the very, very top, it'll say Fantasia 2020. So you can just click on that and you can see all our coverage. So if you're interested in what the word is from the biggest genre film festival in North America, you can check there.
That's cool, Scott.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Okay. Well, that's it, Scott.
That's it.
That's all we got time for.
We'll see you next week. Don't take off your wedding ring.
I already did.
Oh, no.
I'm going to clean it.
Okay.
Gotta get it nice and shiny.